and it's open, so you can figure that out. That one.
Perfect.
Hi, Miss Foster. How are you?
Hello. Hi, how are you? I actually have like two screens. I got a Zoom going on over here because my other meeting's on here, and I'm here. I'm here until like 8:30, and then AP Torres is gonna jump in because I gotta jump back to my other meeting.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you
And
so
so
much
she
for being
got-
here. Really appreciate it.
Mm.
Great. Hi, Anna. How are you? It's good to see you.
Everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Give it maybe a minute and then we'll jump in. Does that sound good?
Okay, no problem.
Great.
Un minutito más en lo que vamos a empezar la reunión.
If you're anything like me, you were just finishing up bedtime with one stubborn child, so.
Yes.
Which is why I've been pleasantly surprised the YouTube channel is getting a decent amount of play. Like each video has got dozens of watches, and I've bumped into a couple parents who are like, yeah, the meetings are, you know, a little too early for my kid that's like definitely staying up later than 8 p.m., but I catch the videos. I'm always pleased to hear that.
Silver line of being virtual.
That's right. Yeah, that's something that very good chance will outlast COVID.
Yeah, totally.
Everybody's virtual fluency.
For everyone that is here, thank you so much for being here. We often have folks pop in and out as well for lots of reasons, like we just said, bedtime and tons of other competing priorities. So we appreciate you making the time to be here. And please let folks know that there's always a replay. We record so that folks can watch a part or all of it after the fact as well. Ms. Raimundi, I will pass that to you and then we'll move through the slides.
Yes, bueno, buenas noches. Gracias a los que están presentes en esta reunión. Siempre esperamos unos minutitos para los papás que se unen un poco más tarde de las 8 de la noche, pero esta reunión siempre se graba y se presenta en el canal de YouTube bajo FTO para que los padres luego puedan ver o escuchar la reunión cuando ellos tengan más tiempo.
Thank you. As many of you know, I'm Martha. I'll be running our meeting tonight. We don't have a ton on the agenda, and Ms. Foster was kind enough to join us. She'll be here for about the first half this evening. And I am a part of the FTO board and also parent to a kindergartner, and we just finished enrollment for both kiddos. So next year I'll have 2 kiddos there, and I can't wait.
Ok, hoy la reunión la va a presidir Marta, uno de los miembros del FTO. Con nosotros esta noche está presente Principal Foster. Ella va a estar hasta las 8:30 porque tiene otro compromiso, pero luego un asistente de principal se va a unir a la reunión cuando Miss Foster se retire. Y Marta tiene una niña actualmente en kindergarten en la escuela y ya matriculó a la otra niña en PQ3. So, felicidades.
Which I didn't put in the slide deck, but I'll take that as an opportunity to remind folks also if they haven't completed enrollment to please, please, please do so the school doesn't have to chase you down. You can come and do it in person, or it's actually quite easy online. So if you haven't already, add it to your list this week.
Y Marta está utilizando esta oportunidad para indicarle a los papás que estamos haciendo matrícula para el próximo año escolar 21-22 y tienen 2 opciones. Pueden hacerlo en persona a través de Miss Cruz en la escuela o ellos mismos completar la forma, o los pueden hacer en línea y es bien fácil hacerlo en línea. Cosa de que no tengamos que estar detrás de ustedes para que se matriculen.
Our agenda this evening, we've started to follow kind of this similar pattern of we'll share some announcements that we have for you all, a call to act. So just anything this month that we're asking for your support or help on, and then any other business kind of odds and ends that we will wrap up with. So that's what we will walk through this evening. Announcements starting off. The school has put together a pretty incredible virtual open house via the Prezi app. So that would be the first of our announcements for this evening. The link is here. We can also share it in the chat, and it's also up on our social media channels and on our website as well. So for yourself to check out, or anyone that is going to be new to joining Truesdale, it's a really great virtual opportunity to get to know a little bit more about the school.
Ok, y la agenda de hoy está un poco limitada, solamente tenemos 3 áreas grandes. Primero son anuncios que vamos a hacer y ya Marta habló del open house que se tiene virtual y ella en la parte del chat va a poner el link, el enlace donde ustedes pueden ver lo que se ha presentado en cuanto a la casa abierta, ¿no? El open house de la escuela. Otra de las cosas que se va a hablar es actividades y proyectos que tenemos en pie para ver si las personas se pueden ofrecer como voluntarios y luego cualquier otro asunto que quede pendiente.
Quick mural update. I know we've mentioned this the last few months. DC Scores is partnering in order to get a mural on the playground facing side of the trailer as a beautification project. And we had a number of student entries in this competition. In person, they are voting on murals, and then there's also a virtual voting option as well. So for teachers that are watching, remember to have your kiddos vote, and then a DC muralist is going to work in collaboration with those submissions and DC Scores and the school in order to design what that mural will be this upcoming spring/summer.
Y uno de los primeros anuncios es acerca del mural que estamos preparando para la escuela, y en estos momentos están las votaciones. Va a ser hasta a mayo 7. Se puede votar virtual o se puede votar en persona, y ustedes van a ver los diseños que los estudiantes han presentado. Y por favor, los maestros que están escuchando, les exhortamos de que pasen con los estudiantes a ver los murales, o se pueden meter en línea y pueden ahí ver los murales y pueden votar. Y el mural se va a poner en uno de los camiones, de los trailers que está mirando el parque de recreo en la escuela para embellecer más la escuela.
Movie night. So I want to give you an update on movie night. If you've been around for a minute, Truesdale has over the years hosted family movie nights. And we have done our best with equipment and sound and snacks, and folks have always brought food, and it's been a really great way to bring families together. We are updating that a little bit because now we have the best playground and the best soccer field in the entire ward. So we want to highlight that. So again, the school, FTO, and DC Scores will be hosting a movie night this Friday. You must RSVP because we have a cap at how many folks we can have because of COVID regulations. So please RSVP. Also, it's going to be a great event and just really nice to see some folks in a safe way and celebrate the school, celebrate the spring, celebrate the conclusion of Teacher Appreciation Week, celebrate the playground, celebrate the field. And then our hope is that if that is a success and folks agree that that's a nice gathering format, that it's something that we could reproduce in the future to bring families and staff and students together in the future as well.
Okay. Y sí, dice Marta que los padres y el staff, la facultad que ha estado en tiempo en la escuela, siempre la escuela tiene una noche de cine, un movie night, y siempre se traía comida, se traía refrescos y se traía la película y demás, pero esta vez, este año, vamos a hacer lo mejor porque tenemos el mejor parque de soccer que está nuevo, sin estrenar todavía, y tenemos el mejor parque de recreo para los estudiantes. Esas son dos cosas que hay que celebrar, y va a ser un éxito total, y hay que registrarse porque con lo del COVID el cupo es limitado. Se tienen que registrar si quieren participar este viernes en la noche de cine.
2 more announcements and then I'll pause for questions. One of which is we were really pushing the popcorn fundraiser last month hard. I had a little bit competitive streak in me. We are pleased to report that it's been the FTO's most successful fundraiser yet. So we raised $6,300 for the school. which is just incredible and more than the FTO has ever had in the bank account. So it's really exciting to be able to, one, just see that much support flow in from all over the country for Truesdell, and then also to have those funds in order to support what's best to support over the next couple months, which is really exciting.
Wow, otro de los anuncios es que el mes pasado se concluyó el recolectar dinero con la venta del popcorn, de las bueno, el popcorn, ya se me olvidó cómo se dice en español.
Palomita de maíz.
Palomitas de maíz, oh my God, gracias, Ana. Y se recolectó $6,300. Ha sido la recaudación más exitosa que ha tenido en estos momentos la escuela. Estamos súper contentos por eso.
Last announcement for the evening is our official 2 new board members for next school year 21 and 22, which is probably what I'm most excited to share this evening. Ana Chavez and Jessica Young, both parents of Truesdell kiddos, super excited that they are willing to join the board. So we are starting to get things rolling now, and officially as next year begins, the board will be myself, Fadia, Chris, Jessica, and Anna. So it will go from 3 to 5, which is really exciting. And we are so grateful that they are making this commitment to the FTO and to the school.
Y otro anuncio que es muy importante es que llegaron 2 miembros nuevos para la Junta de Padres y Maestros de la escuela. Ana Chávez y Jessica Young son padres que tienen niños en la escuela y van a acceder su tiempo para participar en la Junta. Y ahora de 3 miembros ya subió a 5 miembros, o vamos creciendo. Y felicidades. Welcome.
Thank you. I'll pause there to see if, just with those first announcements, if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to unmute and ask or pop it into the chat before we move on.
Y antes de que sigamos con otros anuncios y otras noticias, si alguien tiene alguna pregunta, si alguien tiene algún comentario, lo puede escribir en la parte del chat o puede abrir su micrófono y anunciarlo.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I think the admin team probably got busy. Can someone just put us down on the RSVP list? Myself, the assistant principals, and Dean Robinson will be in attendance. I didn't know if it was just assumed that we would be there or what, but we will be there.
Got it.
Okay. Y algo que quiere decir la Principal Foster es que ellos van a estar presentes en la noche de cine y que si alguien por favor los puede incluir para que no se queden sin participar.
Any other questions thus far?
¿Otra pregunta? ¿Más preguntas? ¿Comentarios?
All right. If you come up with something, please pop it in the chat and I'll be sure to answer before we close out.
Si tienen alguna pregunta antes de que terminemos la reunión, la pueden escribir en la parte del chat.
Our call to act is pretty short this month. Right now, starting today is Teacher Appreciation Week. So first of all, to the educators on the call, thank you. Always for everything you do, but my goodness, especially for school year 2021. Thank you. We appreciate you. And to those of you that have teachers of your kiddos, our call to act here is just if you can send in a note, a card. It can be from you, it can be from your student, it can be from both. I taught for a long time, and I promise you a homemade card from a family member or student really means a lot. So if you have the time in your week at any point, and it can be any teacher or staff member that works with your student, it would be much appreciated. If you are virtual or just unable to make that happen, an email would absolutely go a long way as well. And then just 2 quick updates. The school is going, the FTO will pick a day in the middle of the week and we'll drop off some snacks to staff. Typically we do something a little bit bigger, like we did breakfast for a couple mornings last week, but we want to honor the restrictions we have with COVID. So we'll drop off some snacks for them to enjoy. And then I am a recent yoga teacher certification. So I'm also offering a yoga class for anybody that's interested on Friday after school. And we've had a couple teachers say they would love to end their weekend that way. So that's just a little bit of what we're doing. And the call here is really, if you're able to do a card or note, we would really appreciate that.
Ok, y en esta sección lo que se está exaltando es a todos los padres, porque esta es la semana de apreciación al maestro, de mayo 3 a mayo 7. Y se exhorta a todos los padres que están escuchando esta reunión que por favor sus hijos le hagan una notita o le escriban una tarjeta o le envíen un correo electrónico a los padres, a los maestros o a cualquier persona de la escuela que trabaje con sus niños, porque lo van a apreciar un mundo, especialmente los maestros y el staff, la facultad que está trabajando durante este tiempo de la pandemia que ha sido un poquito diferente y también dificultoso en algunas ocasiones. A los maestros se le aprecia todo lo que están haciendo. Muchísimas gracias por la labor de los maestros hacia los niños. Y otra cosa que va a hacer el FTO es que a media semana le van a dar unas meriendas, unos snacks a los maestros. Y Marta recientemente se certificó como maestra de yoga y el viernes en la tarde algunos maestros están interesados para que ella les dé una clase de yoga. Todo esto es lo que el FTO va a hacer esta semana por la apreciación a los maestros.
Thank you. The last call to act, which actually, Chris, apologies, there's not a slide for it, is just for the movie night. If anyone is able to help us with volunteers, let us know. If you're on now and you're able to volunteer to help us, you can drop your name in the chat and I'll follow up with you. If you are watching later, please email us at truesdelefto@gmail.com if you're able to help us out for that event, just so that we can make sure that things are organized and communication is smooth and all of those details.
Y otro anuncio que se está haciendo esta vez es con relación a la noche de cine, que es este viernes. Por favor, se necesitan voluntarios o padres que están escuchando ahora durante la reunión o que luego más tarde van a escuchar esta reunión a través del canal de YouTube. Si están interesados en ofrecer su tiempo para que la reunión, la actividad del viernes sea más organizada y esté bajo control, pueden enviarle un correo electrónico a Marta o a cualquier miembro del FTO para entonces coordinar los detalles.
Lastly, is just a reminder that, I guess, a reminder to the school that parents are excited for next year and have so many questions, a reminder to families and for students that the school is working tirelessly to figure out all the details, from having all students back live to aftercare and staffing and curriculum adjustments, all of those details to make sure that next year is such a beautiful launch. So Ms. Foster, I would kick it to you to either share with us if there are any updates, we'd be happy to hear any. And if not, if you can just let us know when and how is best that we get the most up-to-date information as it comes in throughout the next few months, that would be wonderful.
Antes de que hable, una de las cosas que Marta quiere es que la Principal Foster nos explique si tiene algún update con relación al próximo año escolar 21-22, porque se esperan a todos los estudiantes en la escuela y se tienen que hacer modificaciones de currículo, modificaciones de salón y a ver qué anuncios nos tiene la Principal Foster.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I just wanted to say thank you for that mural competition. There were some great sketches that were submitted. Even some I was kind of like, what is that? But they still got stars from Principal Foster. So because I believe they need representation too. So our abstract work. We are celebrating. Oh, do you want to go ahead with that one, Ms. Raimunde, before I jump to something else?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please. Una de las cosas que está diciendo Principal Foster es que está bien contenta por toda la participación de los estudiantes en cuanto a los dibujos que están presentando para el mural, que todos están muy bonitos y que ella a todos les dio su estrellita. Y que está bien contenta con toda la participación de los estudiantes, a ver cuál gana.
Also, we are having Teacher Appreciation Week, Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week. We will begin tomorrow. We will have a cookout during the teacher's lunchtime again in the garden. Wednesday will be Wellness Wednesday, where we're virtual, but I've canceled all of our meetings and professional developments for teachers on Wednesday. And on Thursday, the APs will have AP room service, where they will, the staff will be allowed to order breakfast, continental breakfast items, and it'll be delivered to their room in the morning for them. And then on Friday, of course, we'll close with our PTA contribution for for Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week. So we do really appreciate that.
Lo que en estos momentos se tiene planificado en la escuela para los maestros y la facultad es que mañana martes, durante la hora de almuerzo, se va a hacer un cookout, se va a cocinar al aire libre y va a haber comida para todo el staff. El miércoles el staff no tiene, la facultad no tiene ninguna reunión ni ningún tipo de adiestramiento, so es para que descansemos un poquito, pero sigamos trabajando, pero con menos reuniones y tensión en ese sentido. El jueves los asistentes de principal van a hacer una entrega de desayunos a los salones, a las aulas, y ya nos mandaron la forma donde tenemos que escoger lo que queremos. Yo me incluyo como facultad. Thank you, Principal Foster. I get that as a staff, and I already completed my order. And, y eso nos los van a entregar en nuestras oficinas. Y el viernes, pues, se concluye la semana con la clase de yoga y con la noche de cine.
Thank you. And so one of the big things I needed to kind of bring to the FTO tonight was that to just basically inform the FTO that the school district received another level of stimulus funding. And so some schools received a portion of that funding and some schools did not. Truesdale is slated to receive an additional $420,000 that we can use, that is going to be categorized as flexible spending for our school. So that means we can use it for personnel, or we can use it for programmatic design, right? Or in support. Do you want me to pause there, Ms. Raymond?
Yes, that was a lot of good information. Truesdale, la escuela Truesdale fue escogida para recibir más dinero con relación a fondos del estímulo, y el dinero es para usarse de manera flexible en lo que la escuela amerite. Y Principal Foster estaba indicando que se puede utilizar con el personal, o sea, en ayudar al personal de la escuela, a los maestros, a toda la facultad, o se puede utilizar también en programas para diseñar el currículum de la escuela. So, el dinero se puede utilizar de manera flexible, y Truesdale fue una de las escuelas escogidas para recibir el estímulo.
So the $420,000 additional dollars was our third layer of stimulus money. Prior to that, which was part of a supplemental allocation to our initial budget, was about $360,000, right? And so we are using, and that's the level 2 funding. So we're using that funding to fund our summer camp, and to take that programming into the end of the school year for extracurricular activities and funding, right? So our thought is to use part of our summer camp includes individual tutoring. And so part of the idea is to make sure that individual tutoring continues into the enrichment program for next school year. So we're trying to get as many students to get personalized tutors as possible. Not just students who are the most vulnerable, but everybody, because everybody needs a tutor. So we're thinking about trying to get everyone a tutor, like 2 to 3 days a week, through the tutoring company that we're using in the summertime that employs certified teachers. And the idea is to assign tutors to teachers or to partner with teachers so that teachers can share with them critical information that they need to support students after school. Because we're kind of envisioning that regardless of what level you're at, you're going to need some level of individual support from pre-K 3 all the way to 5.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Raimunde.
Yes. Parte de ese dinero que se va a localizar va a ser para el campamento de verano, que es muy importante y lo tenemos esta vez en la escuela. Y en ese campamento de verano, una de las cosas que se va a proveer es tutoría individual para los estudiantes. Y algo que Miss Foster quiere hacer con parte de ese dinero es que esa tutoría individual durante el verano que se le va a dar a los estudiantes se va a extender al programa regular de clases, al currículo regular. Y lo que se piensa hacer es parear un tutor con un maestro para que entonces todos los niños, no solamente los que necesitan educación especial, sino que todos los niños se beneficien de tener un tutor y con la colaboración de los maestros se le indique a este niño está fallando o necesita más tiempo, más destrezas en el área que sea y el tutor entonces se lo pueda proveer. Y eso es algo que se va a dar desde PQ3 hasta 5º grado. O sea, aquí se quiere cubrir toda la escuela con este programa de tutoría individual.
And so when you add the Stimulus 2 funding and Stimulus 3 funding, we're looking at like almost $800,000 that we're trying to spend. So we are also going to partner with the current elementary principal at Two Rivers Public Charter School and their director of instruction have formed a new consulting company. And so I think this will be their last year with Two Rivers, I believe. And they are going to work, they have designed a 10-month professional development program for our staff and teachers to begin to fold out project-based learning for our children.
Okay, you are froze, Principal Foster, so
Okay, what
yes,
part you freeze on?
Oh, at the beginning.
Oh, I did.
After you started with Two Rivers and then you froze and then you continue.
So the current elementary principal at Two Rivers and the director of, I believe, curriculum and instruction are partnering to form and if I freeze, just start waving, Torres, and I'll know, are partnering to form their own consulting company. And Truesdale will be their first client. We're going to spend about $70,000 for a 10-month professional development program for project-based learning for teachers and staff in our school. And so we're working with them right now to design that and to determine what it's going to look like. And so there are a couple of phases. And that first phase will begin in the spring, where we're going to be doing a lot of vision setting, goal setting, and setting things up so that we can hit the ground running in the fall with the rollout of professional development and coaching for teachers around project-based learning.
Okay. Thank you, Principal Foster. Los dos principales de la escuela charter de Two Rivers y otro asociado se van a salir e hicieron una firma de consultoría y los primeros clientes le van a dar servicio a Truesdale. Y vamos a tener un contrato de 10 meses donde ellos nos van a proveer adiestramiento para el programa de Base Learning. Y se va a comenzar en el spring y las metas que se van a hacer es para desarrollar ya sea programas de coaching y programas de adiestramiento para todos los maestros y el staff de la escuela. Y eso nos va a durar por 10 meses.
So about $70,000 to $80,000 will be spent on that initiative of our stimulus money. Also, we will. We're also considering a major technology refresh of big hardware like smart boards. So we're looking into outfitting all of our classrooms with the technology similar to what Mr. Vaughn has in his classroom. There has been a suggestion that we spend also additional funding for, we put aside money for field trips and things, but also for assemblies to bring cultural activities and assemblies into the school. And so we now need to figure out which organizations are willing to do that and where they are with the pandemic with that. But that's another idea for setting aside some money. So some of that money. So we're actually kind of like in a spending frenzy right now, trying to figure out how we are going to, or generating ideas for using that money. So I have to meet with the LSAT by the 12th to make some decisions around that money. And normally this is something I would talk to the FTO exec board about first. But any recommendations that come forward from exec board are welcome. In that we need to, because I specifically asked the chancellor, is this an 800,000 that's going to roll over into next year? And he said that they wanted school leaders to focus on this year and spending the money that is allocated to us right now for this year. So and it looks like we may get additional dollars next year. So we just need to make sure that we're not giving any of that money back.
Ok, ahora mismo con todo ese dinero que se va a recibir, estamos así viendo ver en qué se va a gastar, porque pues se tiene que utilizar este año escolar. Y hay diferentes ideas. Una de las ideas que se está considerando es que todos los salones tengan un smart board, una pizarra inteligente. Y también que se actualicen en cuanto a la tecnología en todos los salones. Otras cosas que están pensando es a ver cómo se hacen los field trips, las salidas a los diferentes sitios. E igual están viendo cómo comparten el dinero en asambleas y ver qué tipo de organizaciones se pueden contactar, especialmente ahora durante la pandemia, para que entonces ellos nos puedan ofrecer ayuda o nos puedan ofrecer adiestramientos y demás. So, en estos momentos se están recibiendo ideas. También Principal Foster quiere que el FTO dé ideas de cómo se puede utilizar este dinero para beneficio de la escuela, de los estudiantes y de la facultad, porque ella tiene una reunión mayo 12 y necesita ideas para ver cómo pueden alocar el dinero.
Does anybody have any questions about the stimulus money?
¿Alguna pregunta con relación a este fondo de estímulo que recibió la escuela?
Okay, great. In terms of staff, I'm sorry.
We'll reflect and get back to you, Principal Foster.
Yeah, I know it's going to take some thought. So, yeah. Also, in terms of staffing, it's hiring season. We have interviews set up for teachers. We are having a level of staff turnover, which I anticipated this school year. And, you know, it kind of is what it is. So we are looking for the best and brightest. Right now, there's a bit of a hiring freeze on our new positions. So like the program coordinator, the community school coordinator, as well as some other positions aren't necessarily posted right now and I'm still trying to understand this myself, quite frankly, why the positions are frozen, but it has something to do with the accessing process. However, principals are pushing back and saying that, well, they're taking issue with having to, they want to make sure that they're not going to be they're not going to force fill positions with excess staff. And excess staff are basically staff that are cut from school budgets. And sometimes what happens is that there is a ranking process with that. And so sometimes what happens, the lower performing staff members and teachers, and this is not always the case, but sometimes what happens is that lower performing teachers and staff members are excessed because they don't rank high enough. And so there is a concern that principals have open positions and that those positions will be force filled with these staff members and teachers. And so principals are just getting clarity over that. And as soon as I get more information, I can let you guys know about that.
Okay, otra de las cosas que estamos haciendo ahora en la escuela en estos momentos es que se están contratando maestros y staff nuevo para el próximo semestre escolar porque este año hay un alto número de maestros y staffs que se van de la escuela. Y Principal Foster estaba explicando el proceso por el cual ella está pasando porque hay unas posiciones que están congeladas y ella estaba explicando que era en relación a ciertos maestros y staff que tienen un bajo ranqueo en su performance. Y entonces eso hace que se frisen las posiciones, pero todo eso se va a clarificar pronto, esperemos. Yo espero que lo haya explicado bien esto con relación a lo del hiring process.
All right. Are there any questions about staffing?
¿Alguna pregunta con relación a la facultad, al proceso de entrevistas de nuevo personal?
Moving on to re-enrollment. Right now, Truesdale has re-enrolled over 52% of our student population as of today. Our preschool and pre-K programs are filling up. We only have about 6 slots left for pre-K 3, I believe, Torres, and maybe about 10 for pre-K 4, or is it flipped?
No, you're correct. It's about that many.
Right. So now we're moving to our waiting list, and our waiting list have enough students to fill those slots. So it looks like we're going to be with the full load of little tykes in the beginning of the school year. Lottery seats were not opened for grades 3, 4, and 5, and that's just kind of in the best interest of Truesdale and culture setting that we accept children at the lower levels. So we do even have there's a family from Massachusetts, I believe, that tried to get into the lottery that we unfortunately had to move to the waiting list because they couldn't prove residency by May 1st. So they were moved to the waiting list, and a current DC resident was moved into their position. So hopefully later when they do relocate here, they'll be able to prove residency. And actually, it actually might be higher than that now. But Ms. Cruz and Ms. Torres have done a great job in making sure that, and our our counselors and our social workers and our teachers have done a great job in coming together for that effort.
Okay. Y otro punto a destacar es que estamos en el proceso de matrícula para el próximo año escolar. Y al día de hoy, mayo 3, tenemos un 52% de estudiantes que se han rematriculado en la escuela, o sea, que regresan para el próximo año escolar. Los espacios que tenemos para PQ 3 son 6 espacios disponibles en estos momentos, y para PQ 4 tenemos 10 espacios disponibles en estos momentos, es lo que queda. Y de ahí en adelante ya todos los demás padres o niños que vengan a la escuela se van a tener que ir a la lista de espera. Y Principal Foster estaba hablando de una familia que se va a mudar de Massachusetts a DC y no pudieron entrar a lo de la lotería porque pues no pudieron probar la residencia en DC porque tenía que ser antes de mayo 1. Y otra cosa, que la lotería no está aceptando grados pequeños, sino de 3, 4 y 5. Is that right? Those are the grades that they're doing for 3 and 5, or is the opposite?
I'm sorry.
The lottery is not open for 3, 4, and 5.
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite. It's open for 3,
yeah.
4, and 5. Yeah, so I got it right. So
No. Lottery, there are no available lottery seats for grades 3, 4, and 5. No available seats.
Okay, so no lottery. Exacto, no hay lotería abierta para los estudiantes de 3, 4 y 5. En esto, 3, 4 y 5. So I think ya cubrí todo lo de la matrícula, lo de la registración. Yeah, fine.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, for our summer camp, we are at about 60% full. That camp was offered to our in-person students, and now we're going to start offering those seats to some of our virtual the remaining 40% to some of our virtual students. AP Torres, do you want to share a bit about that?
Okay,
AP Torres and AP Branch, the assistant principals, DCPS is requiring that the assistant principals or teacher leaders take the lead of our summer schools this year or our camp. And so AP Torres is at the forefront of that this year, as well as AP Branch.
Ok, este año los asistentes de principal o los maestros líderes son los que se van a estar encargados del campamento de verano de la escuela. Y en estos momentos tenemos una capacidad de 65% ya matriculados para el campamento de verano de la escuela. Y este campamento se le ofreció a los estudiantes que están en persona. Y el resto, lo que queda, el 40%, ya se le va a comenzar a ofrecer a los estudiantes que están virtual. Miss Torres?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just having issues with the sound. Okay, so we have 120 students who will be part of the summer program. And as Principal Foster mentioned, 70 of those seats are already taken. So we have 60% of them are already booked for the summer. And we'll continue to reach out to the families that we have in person. I think we have pretty much touched base with everybody now. So at this point, we're going to begin to work with the families who are virtual. And by this Friday, we also sent a note home last week to all families who have submitted applications already that by this Friday, you will get information saying that your student just confirming your seat for the summer.
Ok, por el momento tenemos 120 estudiantes que van a participar en el programa de campamento de verano. Esto es un 70% de los estudiantes que en estos momentos están en persona. Ya la facultad se ha comunicado con todos los padres de los estudiantes que están en persona. So, de ahora en adelante vamos a comunicarnos con los estudiantes que son virtual para ofrecerle el programa. Y este viernes se le va a mandar una notificación a todos los padres confirmando que sus hijos los han aceptado en el programa de verano.
And I think the last thing also, I just kind of want to circle back really quickly to a curriculum. I just want parents to know that those things are in the making. And as soon as we get a better idea, we will kind of probably send out a letter or a summary document of the instructional initiatives, but they remain the same: community-based schooling, project-based learning, and we're still looking into two-way immersion also. That's still kind of up in the air pending the district's program design, and we don't know enough about that yet to make a final determination on that.
Ok, dice el principal Foster que con relación al currículo todavía se están bregando en hacer cambios y en añadir cosas, o todavía cuando se tenga algo ya más preciso, más concreto, se va a notificar a todos los padres, pero que más o menos todo va a quedar lo mismo en cuanto a la comunidad, en cuanto al burst learning, en cuanto al otro que mencionó, el del dual language. Todo eso más o menos es lo que están implementando, y tan pronto ya se tenga algo concreto, se le va a mandar la información a las familias, a los padres.
And just a last shout out, we finally got our bike racks so kids can start riding bikes to school.
Y el último anuncio, que es muy bueno, ya tenemos los racks de las bicicletas, o ya los estudiantes que quieran ir en bicicleta a la escuela ya tienen dónde dejar su bicicleta segura.
I think that's it, if there are no other questions.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? ¿Preguntas? ¿Comentarios?
Principal Foster,
Mm-hmm.
did you give amounts on the technologies that you were thinking of in addition to the tutoring program, the one-on-one tutoring consultancy, which is a fantastic idea, by the way.
So
Una de las sorry, me interrumpí. Una de las preguntas es con relación a la tecnología que el Principal Foster mencionó, aparte de la tutoría individual que le van a dar a los estudiantes.
So I literally just got the notice about the level 3 stimulus funding on Friday. So we're not, we haven't even, that was just something I thought, like the district is refreshing student devices. So I'm like, okay, what other technology do we need at this point? So we're still in the thought process for that. And then the tutoring services for the summer for, I believe we are contracting for 12 tutors, Torres, if I remember properly, is 24,000. So, and that's for tutors to work from 9 to 1. From 9 to 1, I believe. So I needed to figure out if Blue Ribbon Tutors can even accommodate our request for tutors for all year long.
I see.
Because I don't want it to be just like some like high school students. Like I want it still to be certified teachers. And then give them an opportunity to come back to me with a quote. Because depending on how high the quote is, we will have to bid it competitively. So all of that is still in the making.
Ok, todo es un proceso que todavía se está coordinando porque apenas el dinero del nivel 3 del estímulo, ella recibió la información este viernes o apenas se está procesando y están viendo ideas y una de ellas es actualizar todos los devices, todas las computadoras y toda la tecnología que tiene la escuela. Y también con relación a los tutores para lo del campamento de verano, van a haber 12 tutores y Principal Foster quieren que sean maestros certificados, que no sean estudiantes de high school que van a dar tutorías, o ella quiere que sean estudiantes certificados. Y eso va a agarrar un monto de $24,000. So, todo, si se empieza a sumar, y esos tutores van a estar solamente de 9 a 1 de la tarde. Y es algo que ella quiere seguir implementando para el próximo año escolar. So, todo apenas se está empezando a ver, se está empezando a cuajar para ver cómo empiezan a utilizar todo el dinero de una manera apropiada.
Any other questions? Did that answer your question, Mr. Taylor?
That was great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that the kids are enjoying the playground, and it's actually really helping school culture because they're getting rid of that energy. And so we're seeing, from what I understand, there's really been a reduction, especially Mr. Robinson also noted it today. He's like, the kids are just calm when they come in the building. I said, yeah, because they're like running. I mean, the little ones literally go and get on that track and run in a circle. For like
That is so fantastic to hear. It makes such a difference.
Y es una de las cosas que dice Principal Foster y toda la escuela está contenta, es que se le está dando una utilidad increíble al parque de recreos, especialmente los niños pequeños que en el track se ponen a correr y a correr y a correr a vuelta redonda y luego entran súper tranquilitos, toda la energía la han dejado afuera y entran súper tranquilitos, súper calmados a la escuela.
And we're in the process of procuring the tables to go outside in the garden and on the playground for the outdoor learning also.
Y ya también están en el proceso de asegurar las mesas que se van a poner también afuera en el jardín y en la parte de recreos y en el parque de recreos. También para aprendizaje, mesas para que se pueda dar aprendizaje.
Well, that's all I have.
Eso es todo lo que tiene Principal Foster. A lot.
Anyone else have any questions or comments to share before we close out for the night? Feel free to unmute. Feel free to drop them in the chat, or as always, email us as well.
Ok, ¿alguna pregunta, comentario, algo que quieran dar a conocer? Lo pueden escribir en la parte del chat, pueden abrir su micrófono y decirlo por el micrófono o pueden escribir un correo electrónico si lo quieren hacer más tarde, algo que se acuerden.
Hi, this is Ariel, Elio's mom. I actually have a question about the summer program. Will the kids, if they're enrolled in the summer program, do they have to attend the full, I think it's 4 weeks or however long, or can they do partial as well?
Una de las preguntas que tiene la mamá es que ella matriculó a su niño en el programa de verano y ella quiere saber si el niño tiene que atender o si el estudiante tiene que atender las 4 semanas o si puede atender parcial, menos tiempo, 2 semanas.
So we would really prefer that students do the full 3 weeks. What is optional is the summer camp that's on the second half of the day. So like 9 to 1 is the school-sponsored summer camp, and then from 1 to 5 is the DC Scores soccer camp. We would prefer that students, if they're going to take a seat, to engage in the entire program.
And
That's-
for Elio's in pre-K 4, I don't, if I understand correctly, they only have the half day, or?
That is correct.
Okay.
Right, because no, I'm sorry. No. If he's in pre-K 4 right now,
Yes.
no, so he will have the full day.
Oh, okay. I think it was a little bit confusing in the pamphlet, actually. I think at the beginning of it, it said pre-K 4 would have the full day, but then the schedule itself said half day, so.
So yeah, so the current pre-K 4s will have a full day, but our pre-K 3s going into pre-K 4
Okay.
will have a half day.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
La contestación de esa pregunta es que se prefiere que los estudiantes que ya están matriculados y ya tienen un asiento asegurado para el campamento de verano participen todo el tiempo durante las 3 semanas. Y en el caso de esta mamá que preguntó, su niño está en Peque 4 y él tiene que participar toda la sesión, o sea, de 9 a 1 de la mañana, el campamento de verano lo corre la escuela y de 1 a 5 de la tarde lo corre DC Scores. Y la preferencia es que atienda, que el niño esté presente durante todo el programa de 9 a 5.
And that's because DC Scores does not have a program for children entering into the preschool grades, only kindergarten through 5th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Igual que Peque 4 le toca sola, Peque 3 le toca solamente mediodía de programa.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anna. I'm so happy to have that summer camp. I was like, what am I gonna do with this boy, with grandma? So I said, yes, I'm gonna have 3 weeks with him. That's excellent. Like, I'm so happy. And as soon as I had the paperwork, I enrolled him. So he's ready.
Ok, y una de las mamás, Ana, que también es parte ahora de la junta del FTO, dice que está súper contenta por el programa de verano y que ya tan pronto le llegó la solicitud, la completó y ya el niño está listo y deseoso para participar en esas 3 semanas, al igual ella.
Another
Great.
very interesting part is that the activities are potentially, can be ideas for extracurriculars throughout the year. It'll be great to see what kids get excited about, and the offerings are remarkable. The drama, the technology, and other things.
Ya, y dice Mr. Taylor que también las actividades y los programas que se van a hacer son programas que se pueden extender extracurriculares para el próximo año escolar, y las opciones que tienen por el momento, drama, tecnología, son excelentes.
Yeah, I thought it was important. We would have liked to make it a little longer, but everybody just really needs a break. Like the staff needs a break this summer, especially because we're coming out of the restrictions and people want to travel and things. But it's really important to me. When I interviewed, I made a solid commitment to making sure we had well-rounded opportunities for children. And so, this is honestly really what I believe in, and how we're going to move forward. So the deal for the teachers was, if you get the extra money in summer, you have to commit to fall and spring. And so teachers were willing to do that, and some teachers wanted to travel, which I totally understood, and wanted their summer. So, and they submitted additional proposals for fall and spring, and that was fine too. So,
Oh,
and then
wow.
some teachers changed it up. Oh, and the other thing, this is a big thing. We are going to have 3 Girl Scout troops. And so we are looking for parents and staff members we have a staff member that is going to work with the Girl Scout, the national organization, to develop the 3, they're like grade band troops. So they're like the little ones, a mid-level one, and then older girls. And so the Girl Scout organization will support us the first year. We'll support our staff sponsor, who will be Miss Moffitt Darko. And Miss Moffitt Darko will then coordinate the 3 troop leaders. So we would like for those troop leaders to either be staff members or parents. So if you know anyone who is interested in doing Girl Scouts in the fall, please let us know as soon as possible.
Y otro anuncio importante es que tenemos la organización de las niñas escuchas, nos dio la oportunidad de tener 3 grupos, que una maestra es la que va a ser la coordinadora, y Principal Foster está exhortando a los maestros o a los padres que quieran participar para hacerse cargo de los grupos. Va a ser un grupo pequeño, el mediano y el más grande. En cuanto me imagino que a edad lo van a dividir, para que entonces pertenezcan a las niñas escuchas. I was in the competition. I was a 4-H. So.
Oh, I was a Girl Scout big time. Yeah, I even went to like sleepaway camp. I think that was my mother's way of getting rid of me overnight.
Oh, but. Yeah. Same with me.
And we are looking into having Boy Scouts also.
Y también se van a tener a los niños escuchas también, los Boy Scouts.
Any other questions or feedback?
Preguntas.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Muchísimas gracias por parte de la directora Foster. You are muted, Marta.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Raymond. I was just thanking everyone for being here. Obviously, keep questions coming to us, and then we'll have one more of these before the school year closes out. So any updates we will bring, and we will continue into next school year. But we will definitely have some more updates for you in a month's time. Thank you, everyone.
Ok, bueno, buenas noches, y la próxima reunión va a ser dentro de un mes, y vamos a seguir dando updates, actualizando todo de aquí al próximo año escolar. Gracias por haber venido.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, bye.
Everyone.